Alright, folks, and welcome back to the channel. It's time to look ahead to a massive week for Celtic as the UCL returns as we face Young Boys in, I don't even know what match day it is now because there's that many. Match day
Like
9, I think.
7.
7, is it?
Aye.
Um, no, and then we'll also look back on the Scottish Cup action over the weekend and look who we've got in the next round. I'm joined by Alistair. How you doing, Alistair?
Good, thanks, mate.
I'll start with we'll just keep it really really short because I want to go into the small matter of the obviously the Champions League back this week. What did you make of the performance at the weekend?
The performance was good, mate, on the whole, I thought, but couldn't, as you like to always say, we couldn't have finished that dinner. And we're missing too many chances. But mark my words, somebody's going to get an absolute caning. Hope it's Wednesday night. It would certainly put my blood pressure down a
Aye,
good bit.
aye, no, I mean the performances. I do agree with you. The performances haven't been bad for a while now. To be honest, I don't think the performance have been bad even since after the Rangers game. I don't think that's probably the last really awful performance we put in. But I just think the lack of clinical nature is killing us at times. But I mean, Alistair, we got the job done. That was the main kind of objective. Obviously 2-1 in the end. Goals obviously coming. Who's scored again? Fucking
McGregor and
McGregor and Maida.
Maida.
No, but the main job was to get into the next round, and we've done that. Alistair up against obviously the draw was made. We're doing this on Monday night. Was made tonight after the Dundee derby and Raith Rovers at home. I mean, you can't really get much easier than that, to be honest. If Celtic do turn up, I don't. Obviously, I think Celtic will run out winners. Obviously,
Yeah, well, I must admit, I, when we were drawing at home, Josh, I'm old fashioned. Provided Celtic are drawn at home in a one-off tie, in a Scottish football term, I don't, we're cup record in recent years. I think you're confident whoever you draw, provided it's at home, and that's what
aye.
I.
No, I agree. Obviously, when the date comes, we'll obviously get more into the game. But as I said, it's probably an easier tie. I mean, Alistair, going ahead this week, obviously, young boys in the Champions League. I mean, this is a game.
Massive.
I would even go as far as saying, arguably, over the last 3-4 years, it's Celtic's biggest game. If you think
I'd
in
say it's the biggest game since Barcelona in 2011.
a I think people might look at the opponent and go, but I think if you look at the context of what this is what Celtic, this is where Celtic need to be. And I would still say we've made it. I don't like putting on this one game because I do think, as if we've said a lot, is the pressure's completely on us, and it's up to the team, Alistair, to go out there and maybe shut us up a bit because there has been a bit of murmurings the last kind of few weeks. People are getting a bit frustrated, and I would agree with them. I said I think at the weekend I was a bit frustrated with the missed chances, and it's not me being entitled or spoiled. I just think we've getting the results, but the clinical nature hasn't been there. So it's important. I think on Wednesday night, if we can get a good result, I think it will just get us all kind of on the one track again. If you know what I mean.
Yeah, and also it'll be good to kind of a good night where we're all singing for the same hymn sheet because I think recently, Josh, we've been getting a lot of people are saying we've been wanting what Mary wanting and 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 but you've got people that have been saying but the performances have been shite. So you've got two camps there,
Aye.
and it'd just be nice to us all in the one camp for once. I mean, personally, I would take what nothing on Wednesday night and get out of there. I'm
But
no if it came to it.
If it came to it, obviously, but you're really, you're really wanting the team to turn up Wednesday night. You're wanting to put in a performance um, against a team. No disrespect to them, we should be beaten. Um, and I think the way I look at it, I think that's been a problem in the Champions League this year. I think the teams that were not expected to get a result against, Leipzig and Atalanta,
Atalanta.
we've managed to get a result against. But the teams that I'd expect Celtic to be beaten, i.e. Dinamo Zagreb with about 7, 8 players out, um, Club Brugge at Celtic Park, and obviously Young Boys, they were the teams we expected to obviously beat. And I think, this is kind of, I don't know, but there's been kind of running theme. I think when Celtic have all the ball, and I think we saw that against Bruges and Zagreb, sometimes we really struggle to, maybe Slovan Bratislava is probably the exception. That, and I don't think they were a great European side in all honesty, but I think,
Although I do think we would have beaten Zagreb at Celtic Park.
at
But
Celtic Park,
you can't hear all the
aye.
fixtures you would
But
want
what?
at Celtic Park, for
But
example.
if you look at those games, we had 70% of the ball, and you'd expect when you have that amount of ball to break these teams down. And that's what I want to see. I want to, because I think in those games we're really slow in moving the ball at times. When trying to break, Bruges or Dinamo Zagreb down, I want to see a quick start for Celtic on Wednesday and putting, let's be honest, a team who have been the absolute whipping boys of the Champions League.
Do you
Um,
know?
you know,
Do you know the? Do you know the cliche in Europe that really annoys me? No easy games in Europe. Either lads,
there is, there is.
you just need to, you just need to turn up with the right attitude. Start quick. Treat it like a home. Treat it the way you would treat a derby at home and come out flying. No respect.
Aye.
Just play your own game, because if you do that, you'll beat them.
Now, what I do agree with, I think there's teams who know their way around the Champions League game. They might not be the best, squad, a Man City, a Real Madrid. But look at Bruges, constantly in the tournament. Look at Zagreb, constantly in the tournament. Young Boys, constantly in the tournament. And I think that's what Celtic need to watch. These teams have got nous. And I know Zagreb, Young Boys have been having an awful season. But these teams have got nous, and that's the big thing I think Celtic's missing, the experience. We've no got a lot of these players maybe have got maybe 2 Champions League campaigns under a belt, but I think
Well,
this is a proper campaign, the first proper campaign where these players have been competing in European football.
the guy with the most Champions League experience in their squad, he won't be playing Wednesday, James Forrest,
James Forrest, though.
which which is absolutely shocking, really, in 2025.
I know. It is. I mean, the Young Boys. I mean, they were a qualifier team. And this is
Galatasaray.
um, their Champions League campaign's been borderline embarrassing. It's. I think it's for me. It's the negative of the format at times. It can be. You can, and thankfully we have not been putting in that fucking bracket, because we don't want to be in this bracket where we're getting the ones getting pumped every week. But I'm looking at it here. They get beat off Inter 1-0, Shakhtar 2-1, and then beat off Atalanta 6-1, Stuttgart
At
5-1.
home. At home.
Aye, and then Stuttgart 5-1. Barcelona beat them 5-0. Villa beat them 3. Like, it's Celtic. I can't stress enough. Celtic should be
There's
winning this
no
game.
excuses.
There's no
There's no
excuses
excuses.
whatsoever. Um, and that it's so important I can't stress how important this game is. It is, because I'm not going to down in the team, but I cannot see us going to Aston Villa and getting a result. I just can't. I think Aston Villa are where I'm at. They've got a manager who they know around the game, who knows European football to a T. So this is, for me, either win or bust. In all honesty, if I'm being honest, Alistair.
Yeah, well, Well, put it this way, Josh. I'd like to go to Villa Park next week and just give them a
See what we
game
can do.
with
I
no
see what we can.
pressure on it. And try and give English football an impression of a good Celtic team. That's what I want for the Villa game. But I don't want to have to go down there and have to
Get a result.
get a result. I really don't.
I don't want either because I don't want dollar chances, but I don't see it happening. I really don't. And I think you're completely right. I want to go down to Villa Park next week. As much as I'm saying I don't really, you want it to be meaningless. I still don't want us to get down there and get embarrassed because I think it's important that this squad get away from the days of getting. It's important that Celtic shy away now from these embarrassing European results. It doesn't matter who we're playing anymore. We could be playing Real Madrid. You cannot be getting embarrassed 6-0 every season in Europe. Now we've already had the Dortmund debacle, which to be fair, the team have bounced back from that really well in terms of European because that could have got really ugly for us after that. But what I'm trying to say is, even if it is meaningless next week, we cannot
Sit down there.
and get
There's a
thumped.
way to lose is the way I would
Aye.
describe it. If you get in
Um,
there and you lose 2-1, I'm not gonna chastise the team. I'll be disappointed obviously. But it would be well, put it this way, then if we're already in the knockouts, if we were to go to a Sporting Lisbon and lose 2-1, for talking sake, I would then say, you know what, that's not a bad result to take into Celtic Park. If it came to that, that's what my mindset would be, Josh. Obviously, I'd be disappointed. I don't want it to happen, but I think we all know when the draw was made, we put a ring round this game that Slovan Bratislava and Hope, where we said Bruges were the three that we would like to win, but
aye,
luckily for us, we beat Leipzig, and I don't
aye.
think anybody expected that at the time.
I mean, I'm off subject. I'm just looking at young boys' team. Do you know what former Celtic player plays for them?
The ankle.
Yes.
Oh no.
Yeah, and we've also got a former Rangers man. We actually discussed this at the weekend. Cedric
Yeah,
Eaton,
I know.
who's a
I
striker.
know.
Please do not even don't even start Celtic. In all honesty,
No,
don't
please don't.
even.
It'd be
I,
like it'd be like if Man United get any Celtic players in their book.
um, I know. I mean, so we're up against a team who, as I've just mentioned there, are in crisis this season. In all honesty, a team that you would expect to be up near the top of Swiss football, currently sitting ninth and have just drawn to
The
the bottom
boatman
team
out
in
in the
bottom in
nature.
the league at home. So, I mean, I've said this about 4 times already. There's no excuse. There's absolutely no excuse for Celtic not going out there with 3 points, and I fully expect us to do it. I think it's.
That's might bite me in the arse. But you know something else I want to do if the opportunity is there, try and get the goal difference up.
It's just it's
So
a
that
win at
you
all.
come down to that.
Alistair, as you said, I mean, if we win on Wednesday night, we're 99.9% through, which we're through.
I
But
think
Alistair,
we
as you said,
I think we are through because
aye,
if you look at the table, Josh, I looked at the table last night. I think if, if PSG and Man City, if that's a draw, PSG are out or they can't finish above us because they're
aye.
only in 7 points. Man City are in 9. Man City are in 8. So
And I would probably expect Man City to beat PSG because PSG are generally horrendous. Like they are no Man City are not great at the moment, but PSG are
put it this
horrendous.
way, Josh. If I said to you, start the tournament, we'll go through and PSG will go out. What would you said to me?
Probably
Did I say
laugh.
get off your head?
Um, but I was thought, I'm not going to sit here and lie. We have had, we've had a really favourable draw. We've had the most favourable in the tournament. Now, that's not
It's
taking anything
only
away
a
from it.
favourable draw if you take
No,
advantage.
exactly, but I'm not taking that away from the team anyway. But I do think it was. I think we can both agree with that. But and this is why it's such a big opportunity because you could get into the competition next season and get a Leipzig type draw, and we're not going to compete with that. That's the thing. So you need to be kind of
I
looking
mean,
at this and go, well, if we don't do it this year, then what is the point? Because we've spoke about the Champions League. You're out it sometimes with the old format in match day 3. The formats get easier. We've got a really extremely favourable draw. And if we don't do it on Wednesday night, you're looking at it and going at,
we'll
well,
never do this.
you're looking at it and going at that, well, what else are we wanting really? Because, you know, I think I know Dortmund are Champions League finalists, I think with their pot 1 team, pot 2 team,
There's an
so,
argument to say, Josh. Our hardest game's actually the pot 4 team next week at Villa Park.
Villa
There's
Park.
an argument for that, which is
Um,
kind of bizarre, really, the way it's been potted up. But I would, I would say that I think we'll do it, Josh, because we're far better. I mean,
no, I've had this.
you can't handpick a better game to qualify.
I've had the same phrase for weeks. It's not I think we'll do it, we need to fucking do it. I've said that for weeks and that's been my phrase. It's not I think we might we are fucking doing it. It's we and as I said, it's that big a game really. Because that's like Brendan Rodgers was brought back to this club, obviously to keep winning domestically, which he's done, and but European, you're no paying a manager £4 million to win the SPLL every year. And I'm not saying that we shouldn't be winning. I'm not saying that. Of course, it's brilliant to win. That's what we should be doing, win the league every year or aspiring to do that. But you should. We need to start getting a bit of European pride back in Celtic because if you look at Alistair for the last decade, it's been lost.
We need to, Josh, because w- I mean, people were saying to me, if we if we go into the Champions League qualifying next year, it wouldn't be a disaster if we went out. I'm saying it would
I
be
would. I would.
because the drop off between Europa League and I can't stress this enough in Champions League is
It's
enormous.
it's and do you know why it's enormous as well, Alistair? Because And if and this is what I think Celtic's plan. And I'm not like a club expert, but my plan, if Celtic had a bit, have got ambition, right? See if you're constantly exposed to that level of performance. So you're constantly exposed to maybe this is what I was talking about earlier on with Club Brugge and young boys and Dagenham. They might know they very well in the competition, but they're always
But they're in
exposed.
it every year.
They're always exposed to that level of competition, so they know what it takes at this level. You seen it. See when we were in, right, say we qualified in 2016, qualified in 2017, and then we were in the Europa League for about 3 years, and then you went back into Champions League and we get mauled for the next two
Yeah, we
years.
couldn't handle it.
Aye,
I think that was due to previous manager's style, quite frankly.
um, but you need to be, and if that's where Celtic need to be as a European club. That's what like Ajax's, Benfica's, clubs like that who are constantly, maybe not Ajax because they're pretty shite at the moment, but Bruges, they're constantly in that European. So, I don't really subscribe either to the whole idea of Europa League might not be bad next year. No, you want to be playing at the top level because
And
if I'm being honest with you as well, because of this new big league system and you
you've
know
always got a chance.
No, I know even just in the Champions League, but if you look at, some of the Europa League teams, it's just full of shite.
Yeah.
Conference League's just full of shite at times. And don't get me wrong, we're probably part of the Champions League shite. Let's be honest, but but I would always want to be in the Champions League, not just for the finance, but for the exposure when we're bringing players.
And
I
not
mean,
only that, Josh, I need to say this. Not only that, because we have to we have to justify to the board the
why we're
spend
spending
in
money.
the summer. In the summer, if God forbid we go out, we effectively go out and Wednesday night, what's the first thing the board's going to do? Can they compete?
You need to, and I've always said that this is why these games against so well like competable teams like Young Boys Bruges, Slovan Bratislava, I'd even say better teams. No, sorry, lesser teams. Um, you know,
The
because you need
seekers.
Brendan Rodgers needs to prove to the board, right? This is why I spent £11 million in Arne Engels. This is why I spent £6 million in Austin Trusty. See if we get out on Wednesday night, the board like right, fuck, don't back and we can't compete because that's how this board thinks. We know it. That's how this board thinks. This
Right
board,
then, we've no bought anybody in.
aye, this board are not a risk taking board. They're not don't take risks. But I do also understand where the board are coming from because I have got a lot of money in the bank, but Celtic have not got infinite money. So if we don't qualify for the Champions League, and this is when it does hurt the
We need a
club.
fallback.
Missing out on that £40 million for Celtic and Rangers is massive. Probably more like it's obviously more massive for Rangers, but for Celtic, it's still massive to miss out on that money because then some of the money that was maybe put ahead for the summer window, the board like right, we'll need to try and make up the Champions League windfall by taking some of that budget out, and you don't want that because you want to attract the best quality to Celtic, and you're only going to get that if you qualify for the Champions League. I mean, Alistair, before we go into the lineup and score predictions, I want to just have a quick word on the part we've got to play on Wednesday night as well. Celtic Park, the last few
Needs
games,
to
and
be hostile as fuck.
I'm going to say it right. Celtic Park, the last few games has been just a shite.
A library.
It's
Been
been
a library.
the atmosphere has been absolutely shite. The Green Brigade the Green Brigade and I think the Green Brigade put a
North
notice out,
Cork, yeah.
uh, and they get a lot of flack as they always do because in my eyes they tell a lot of the truth that the supporters don't like. It has been shite. Nobody sings. Nobody gets behind the team. The only time they got behind the team against Kilmarnock was probably when
And
the
it
last
went
15
1
minutes when I will try to look for the goal, and it's the same. Let's be honest, it's the same in Champions League nights. At times, it's they haven't. I don't. I always wonder how they can. We've got this running joke, right? The Champions League everyone's can game, big, but
aye.
it needs. We need to be. This is the team need us on Wednesday night because this is a big chance. I mean, as you said, Alison, we need fucking singers or fucking cunts with guitars before the game. That another thing. Get that to fuck. I know they'll be there.
Let the fans sing.
I let the fans sing, but the fans need to actually sing. So if the Green Brigade are singing, come on, you boys in green, you fucking get back to them. Don't just sit there because if we only one up within 20 minutes and it's silent, you keep singing until we get where we need to get, and that's the big thing. I'm not telling a fan how to support Celtic Football Club, but Matt, if you go to the football, right, you sing because you've got a ticket for that game when there's thousands of other fans out there who would love a ticket for that game. So if you've got something, you sing. That's just how I operate. That's not me telling you how to support the club, but you sing because you're at the football and you're at a big game when there's other fans out there who would sing. So that's how I'm simple that way. But we've got a massive part to play in the game
A
on Wednesday
two,
night,
a
Alistair.
two great examples. The Nakamura goal against Man United, noise was
I was
deafening.
bouncing.
And the obvious one's the Tony Watt goal when we went 2 up against the best team in the world football at the time.
No.
But I've never heard noise like that before or since.
Aye, and we've seen it this season. See, Bratislava, brilliant atmosphere. Celtic Park, absolutely bouncing. like because everybody was all buzzing, we were all, and then and then Leipzig buzzing when the goals were getting in. That's what it needs to be like, but it's not shouldn't just be like that. See if we don't score after 10 minutes, it shouldn't just go flat. You should be keeping going, and keeping going because I've noticed that. See if we don't score within 10 minutes in a Champions League game, just goes from there to there, and you're like, you need to keep it up there. So we're gonna have to play a massive part on Wednesday. And as I said, I fully agree with the Green Brigade had to say because I think it's correct. Um, Alistair, what about team selection? I mean, I'm going to just say it right now. I do think the
I'd
team that
play
played,
the same team.
so I don't even need to go for that because I think the team that played on Saturday will play on Wednesday.
The
I think
only
they'll
one you could maybe make a case for is
it's
Bernardo, but
Bernardo. Aye.
I think we're going to need his braveness
I
to
think
try and
we're going
break.
to Tati needs to, even though he needs to watch losing the ball. I think there's a lot of players. I think if he can get that balance right, and I know his passing game probably loses the balls more than others, but there's times he just loses the ball far too much. But if he can, find that balance, he's, we know what he can do. He's a brilliant player. Another player, Alistair, for me, it's got to be massive tomorrow night. Is Dyson Maida. I think if he is integral in Europe for what this team wants to do, pressing from the front, try to stifle the team and no gain at the team a minute's peace. For me as well, Alistair Engels. For me, I think he's done brilliant in Champions League games. Atalanta, he
Yeah,
done his,
hard,
he's done his
especially home games.
Aye, even Atalanta away, I thought he done his job pretty well. What he had to do, Bratislava was brilliant. Leipzig, he was brilliant. Bruges, I thought it was a bit quiet, but I think on the whole, he's done really well. But I will say it before we end off. It is a massive night on Wednesday night, and
Yeah,
not
as
just for
mate.
the club, because this is where Celtic want to be. We've longed about trying to maybe get any. I know it's not the round of 16, but just another round of the Champions League. And then do you know what? We'll see who we get. And if we did, we'll see who we get. And if you just go and get a go, but it's
Let's
Celtic
be
need.
let's be honest. Nobody's expecting us to even get to the quarterfinals. I think that's way
Nobody's. I don't think anybody's
unrealistic.
expecting us to get to round of 16. I think everybody's got the mindset right. Get to this playoff, see who we get, and see if we did get a team like maybe a Benfica who we think we could compete with. Then
Or even a Stuttgart.
the goalposts will obviously shift.
Yeah.
So it's all you're not going to know what your expectations are if we do get through, but it's
And at the
all
end of the day, it's a knockout tie.
it's all about getting through. That's the main thing on Wednesday night. Alistair, to end off, I mean, I'm going to ask you, what's your score predictions?
Don't
A win.
accuse me all confidence, but I think it'll be 3-0.
I
I
was
think
thinking
it'll
3-0 as well. I think Celtic, if we can get, I think with the, and this is, I'll keep hammering, like, talking about the crowd. If the crowd are up for it and they get on the team, we'll need to come out flying because the team will come out flying. I don't deny that. I
my
think they
hope
will.
is, Josh, that they come out, get an early goal, and the young boys who are low in confidence uh, have the feeling of, oh, we don't fancy this because what are we going to play for?
I
Then it's
I
all
do
about
think
us.
I
It's all
think
about us.
it's important if you flip that coin though as well. And this is I continue to say it again. The supporters. See if we get to half an hour, 45 minutes, and we're maybe not still no score. Don't go in the back of the players. Don't just keep And I think that's when I do get where Rodgers is coming from. Don't get on the back of the players so much. Just believe that they'll do it, and I completely think they will. I think I just saying, and I agree with that. So I picked 3-0. I think Celtic will come out flying, and I think we'll just kind of. I'm not going to say it's going to be easy, but I think we need to
And,
come out with a fast start.
and dare I say it, Josh, I wouldn't mind us starting the way we would start a game under the previous manager. If the
Aye.
ball goes out for a throw in, get the ball in, play quick, because they'll know every pace. Bear in mind as
Aye, well,
well.
what's this previous manager pish? You can't even. He's no. Fucking hell. Somebody's went petty against Ange, man.
Mm,
Previous
aye,
manager.
maybe it's because, but you got my point.
I know.
If you start quickly and they'll know, bear in mind they're coming off a winter break, so they'll not be
I
either. That
I
might
know.
be a good point as well. So just start quick and get it done early, settle it for my nerves.
Aye,
That-
well, I know that's probably the same, but that's probably a good point to end it on there then. But hopefully a big night on Wednesday night for us, and hopefully we're back on here talking about Celtic actually
in the
doing
next
something,
round, which would
doing
be nice.
so, doing something in Europe for once. Jesus.
Yeah, well, I
But
don't think. I think you said you've maybe seen two results. I think
aye.
you'll do another one somehow.
Um, but no, we'll end it there, and we'll be back on the channel after the game on Wednesday night, where we're hopefully talking about Celtic being in the UCL playoffs. Until then, we'll speak to you later, and hail, hail.